So this brings us to the first video on the specific missions. So first I want to talk a little bit about how we're going to set up the field. The first thing you want to know is that the field is going to be on a 4-foot by 8-foot table. The instructions for building a table, if you don't have one, are available through the Robot Game Rule book, and they have a link to the building instructions for the models there, as well as a building instruction for a table. But this table is 8 feet on the long edge, 4 feet on the short edge, typically made of plywood and 2x3s. You may also find older tables are made with 2x4s, so be aware of that on the edges of the table. And for the state, we are actually using the AndyMark manufactured table, which is not a single piece on each edge all the way down. So that is something you'll want to be able to plan for and keep in mind as you go. When you place the mat on a table, notice here in step 4, the picture below step 4 rather, is that when you put the table on, it's going to be all the way up against the southeast corner. So there will be an edge on the north side of the table, and there will be the empty home area on the west side of the table. Those are the big things to keep in mind. They have approximate measurements in the instructions, but that's kind of what we're looking for in terms of setting up the table. All of the models are going to be attached via dual lock. The recommended way we do this is that you find all of the squares on the mat and lay down a dual lock square on the box, and then you lay another dual lock piece on top of that so that they're attached but the sticky side is up. Then you can align the model and place it easily. It makes things a lot easier doing it this way than by having to guess where it goes. All the dual lock you'll need comes in the kit. When I set this mat up a few days ago, it did not require any half squares, so you don't have to cut any of these squares, and I ended up with about 6 pieces left over. So you're going to use almost the whole sheet to make sure everything sticks. With that said, we're going to go through and look at everything on the table. So I'm going to switch over back and forth between the rules and my table so you can see how I'm setting it up. The first thing we need to do is gather up our materials. So here we're going to see everything that we start in the home area. Before you go through the setup though, I do want to talk about the home area. So here's my table, right? We've got this piece of the table right here. My iPad's right here right now. But when we talk about the small and large inspection area, I'm going to have to get my camera way down here so we can see it. But right here on the mat, there's this red triangle. The part of the home area north of the red triangle constitutes the large inspection area. The half on the south side below the red triangle constitutes the small inspection area. I'm going to realign that. So there is a large and a small area, and it is that triangle which also corresponds to where the launch area meets the edge of the mat. So for this setup, we just need to get the pieces that go in the home area.